They don't care about the future, because they live it in the past. Sal and Curtis are taking all 5 seasons of Blossom to task. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be weak in the knees. This show's got more range than Vic on the keys. Only gal in the house, and that's how she goes. One brother was a junkie, and the other one was. Weekly lessons coming fast in the Russo flat. Blossom's teenage girl problems are as big as her hat. So take your opinionations and make them shine. It's the OK Bloomer podcast, and it's about damn time.
Don't know.
Oh.
Don't know.
Welcome to a very special episode of the OK Bloomer podcast. We do one of these a week. We just get going so quick and so fast, we never, ever really take a pause. And like Mr. T said in the 1980s inspirational video, Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're from. So we thought we'd take a little pause this week as we resurfaced some lost audio back in the first however many 33 episodes of the show before we came to the Dufferin Avenue Media Network. It was audio only. You could only hear us. You couldn't see us. That may have been better. I don't know.
Yeah.
The jury's still out on that one. But we argued once how this show came to be. And we have unearthed that audio. And we shall play it for you soon.
First episode of this show was
Yeah.
I went back and listened to it today, actually, just
Really?
to remember what we had talked about. And yeah, we were kind of just giving the mission statement of what this whole show was about. And we got in, it was a very Sal and Curtis conversation about who actually came up with the idea. And then I put all the credit on you, and then I tried to pull it back and take the credit for it. And yeah, we recorded it in February of 2020.
February of 2020. Are you serious?
Yeah, it must have been. It was when we discovered that Blossom was on Disney Plus, and that's when the whole idea for this phenomenon got rolling, you know? So, yeah.
So that predates COVID. We got this thing going.
Maybe not. Maybe it was 21. I might be
Can
wrong.
I pop in for a second?
What?
Sure.
So according to my Apple podcast date, it says March 19th, 2021.
Okay, 2021. That makes more sense.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, because okay. All right.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
It really is.
It's all a blur.
So yeah, this is kind of the start of that. And
that knocked me back too. I was like, didn't this come to be because of COVID? Did we get this? It's blurry.
It is. Blurry. It really is blurry.
Because I don't know. Like one thing was kind of related, but it wasn't. Like we didn't do it because of COVID, but we did it because of Disney Plus, which came right before COVID.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, and that was also like the years that we had talked about Blossom together. It was also the time that during that conversation we discovered that neither of us had ever actually watched this show. So we were going in with like this enthusiasm, and now we're almost finished season 3 here, and it's just a funny contrast of like, you know, all the excitement for getting into the show, and now we know so much about Blossom and have talked for hours on end about this show.
Days.
It's a good time to look back and see, you know, our enthusiasm before we had all this wasted Blossom knowledge that we now have.
It's also a nice like peek behind the curtain of our friendship, because so many of our adventures and misadventures start this way, of like literally the you're probably wondering how we got here moments. I remember when we went to Mania, we argued about whose idea this was, and we were pulling up old texts because suddenly we're broke and we're on day 3 of New York and we're going to MetLife Stadium and paying
and we always gotta one up each other.
Paying $500 for a 30-second meet and greet with Shawn Michaels, and we're like, "Why did you bring me here, Sal?" And you're like,
"Only you did that, FYI."
Like, why did I bring you here? Why did you bring me here? And then I'm gonna show you that this was your idea. And usually neither of us are right, and these crazy hijinks just happen organically, and that's why we thought we had to share them with the world. Let's go in blind. Watch this show Blossom, which we thought was going to be a very serious look at the 90s high school experience through girls' eyes, which it has not been everything but pretty much. I remember how weird the first episode was, and we're like, all right, we're in for a long haul. We're going to learn stuff. We're going to learn about the teenage female mind and all the struggles, and no. No, we didn't. We didn't. I don't think after episode 1 I actually had any sort of thought about what it would have been like to be a teenage girl in the 90s. Other than, boy, I really
Not what
wish
the show is about. Yeah.
I wish they'd stop parading bikini models around on the show because I'm not even a girl, a teenage girl, and I'm like, I feel bad. I'm going to go to the gym now. As an adult male watching this 30 years later, I'm like, I'm not actually in shape.
Well, on that note, should we throw to the audio here?
So what should we cover the audio with?
I don't know, just a screenshot of this.
Pictures of all our misadventures.
Yeah.
Do a
We have
funny
lots of
pose
those.
and we'll freeze frame it and start the audio.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit the big play button on the audio. 3, 2, 1.
All right, you want to kick this off?
It's up to you. You can take lead if you want.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is your baby. I don't want to take it over, so
How's this mine?
I will.
This was your
I
call.
will. What?
This whole thing was your idea.
How is this my call? What was the
came-
first
when I
conversation
told you
we
that
had
it was
about
on
this?
Star?
No,
I'm gonna find the
no, you came to me and it's
Yeah,
like,
and I said, "Hey, Blossom's on Disney Plus," and then you texted me back, and you were like, "Oh man, we should totally do an episode by episode podcast review."
no.
Man, I'm gonna find
That
this
was-
text message.
I'm going through it. We're not. This is not how it went. God, there's always drama. I'm going. This thread makes me laugh. It was before this.
I said, "Okay, February 23rd on Messenger. Blossom is on Disney Plus now." Your response: "No way! Wow! We watch every episode together with live commentary and make a podcast." Then in quotations, late
Oh,
bloomers.
come on.
My response: "Oh my God, fantastic!"
Okay, fine.
I'll take the lead on this though. I'll take the lead. Don't worry about it.
Am I responsible for every stupid idea I throw out during the day? Like, that's a lot of ideas.
Well,
That's a lot of dumb ideas. But this, however, was a great idea.
I think so. I think this is one of the best ideas we've ever had.
What are you talking about? We? Clearly, it was me.
Well, that's true. I can't take credit for this at all. Although I planted the seed.
Okay, what are we arguing about now?
I don't even.
You were on this mission to put this on in my lap, and you successfully did that. And now you're like trying to pull it back and be like, "Hey, wait! This was half my idea."
Yeah, that's my competitive nature.
All right. Okay, let's talk about Blossom. Whoa! 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 Is this where I tell you I have never seen a full episode of this show in my life? I've seen many bits and pieces, but being a few years older than you, in 1990 when this debuted, I was not yet a teenager, but I would like to think I could fit in with teenagers, so I was trying to absorb as many teenager-isms and act older than I was, so watching Blossom was definitely not part of my daily routine. However, channel surfing, I would always catch it, like halfway through, and it would be compelling enough that it would stop me, and I would watch it until I finally was like, oh, God, someone else came in the room or something, and I would have to remind myself that this was indeed a show for, teenage girls with issues, and I would quickly change the channel, but there was something that would always draw me in. It got dark at times, didn't it? Wasn't that kind of its thing? It would suck you in with the issues?
I think I have to first of all address what you just said twofold here. The first one being, I had no idea until this day that you have never seen a full episode of this show. because I actually wanted to start this whole thing off by talking about like what qualifies us to be doing this podcast at all. And the answer is nothing, but the answer is also in the 12 years that we've been friends, you and I have brought up this show I don't know how many times. I feel like we've talked about this show more than the entire cast of Blossom talked about this show.
I was going to mention that. We're doing this because it's a bizarre unifier. It
really
always
is.
got brought up.
And
it was
the
kind
fact
of like...
No, sorry, and I was just going to say, and the other part to my reaction to that is that I thought you were going to lean heavily on me, knowing that you've never watched a full episode of this show. I was going into this also realizing that I remember very little about this show.
This makes us perfect, though.
It was the kind of thing, like, I remember it being on, and I remember the characters, and I remember the relationships and that kind of stuff, but I could not pick out one episode from the back of my mind.
Oh God, no! I can't remember any episodes.
No, that's awesome. So the entire time that we've been friends, I thought that you had watched this show religiously because we talked about it all the time.
We talked about it all the time because it was kind of a punching bag, but at the same time, we always came out of the other side with there being some sort of merit to this show, which was what made this so exciting. Because
that is true.
I want to find out what that was. Clearly, it was enough to stick with us,
exactly.
Even though, we never watched it because we were too good for Blossom as, young men.
Right.
But clearly, something stuck and resonated, and we had some sort of common ground by, dunking on Blossom all these years. And I don't know if that's just carried over from my insecurities of, getting sucked into it constantly and having to talk myself out of not watching it. But I guess that's what we're gonna find out. We're gonna expose the truth about a couple of dudes who grew up pretending not to watch Blossom,
but still reference it randomly over the years for no reason whatsoever.
The theme song is catchy as all heck.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what pulled me in, was just the catchy theme song.
Yeah, we reference that a lot.
Well, this changes my whole perspective on this venture that we're going on now, knowing that
we just turned the show on its head.
It's crazy, knowing that you and I have very little knowledge of this show altogether.
I have to say, while other guys my age talk about Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years or Topanga from Boy Meets World as their first crush, I kind of had a thing for Jenna Von Oy. Gotta say, that was
you're a big Six fan.
Maybe 6 was a 10.
You should put that on a t-shirt.
If you're worried about me making that joke every single episode, I will. So a lot of times I would be like, oh yeah, hey, it's 6. There's that, and then of course her 2 older brothers. The one was a drug addict or a recovering drug addict.
Yeah, see, and I don't remember that part of his character at all as a kid. But obviously, I was pretty young when it was on, so I don't know if I just didn't pick up on the references or I just didn't identify with it. But
I remember that because I remember again, I would flip through the channels, and it must have just been timing because I never watched the beginning. I never sat down and was like, Blossom's on. But I would flip through the channels, and probably about halfway, 2/3 through is when they would pull the trigger on the dark turn. And I would be like, whoa, what? This guy's this guy's relapsing? What's going on? And that's what would suck me in. And I remember that guy was a recovering drug addict, and I was like, that guy doesn't look like your typical 90s recovering drug addict that they portray on TV, he dressed kind of like a preppy and didn't have tattoos and a shaved head and a dangly earring. And then, of course, her dad was divorced. There was no mom, and I'm excited to watch and see how truly groundbreaking this show was, because it threw a lot at you that you didn't realize at the time.
As I said, I don't remember that about the older brother at all. It's things that I don't really remember about the show, but I guess through watching it, we're going to find out.
And I'm excited for the journey, Yeah. Sorry, Game of Thrones and Mad Men, you're going to have to wait another year because I got a lot of Blossom watching to do.
Thank you for listening. We officially kick this venture off next time, where we will be breaking down Season 1, Episode 1, titled Blossom Blossoms. He's Curtis, I'm Sal, and this is OK Bloomer.